So there's something that's just been driving me crazy for months. I just couldn't figure it out, but I finally solved the big mystery. If you're working with acrylics, you got to see this. Today on LaserNug. Welcome back to the channel. So if you're new like me, or you just got your bolt, or you've been working on acrylics or starting to get into acrylics, you probably take a similar path to myself. You don't really know what a lot of things are called or how to order them. You're learning as you go. In the acrylics world, you probably start out with your basic standard clear, different flat colors that are glossy finished. You kind of blend from there after you learn that they have a matte finish. So now you're working with glossy or matte finished acrylic. You find out about mirrored acrylic, you give that a shot. It's pretty cool stuff. You see that they start, some places have pastels. They've got different types of translucent or iridescent, or they've got now a lot of places will have these crazy patterns or floral patterns in the acrylic. There's just a whole bunch of different types of acrylics and a number of different suppliers. But several months ago, I saw this sign being developed by one of the creators, because probably like you, part of your learning is you're following all kinds of different makers, laser makers, woodworkers, woodcrafters, looking at the various different ways that they make their creations to try to learn how to do it ourselves. And over time, you'll sometimes send notes and ask them questions, what kind of material did you use, or what is that type of material you used? But there's this really cool effect. And I tried to contact the maker and they don't respond. So I assume, some people are willing to tell you how they do stuff. Some people aren't, and it's totally cool. But it's been bothering me for months because I'm trying to figure out what kind of acrylic or how they made this effect come out in their design. And then I had to do an order for an event that's down in the US, big event. And I went to my supplier, Canadian Engraving Supply Company. As you guys know, I get a lot of my stuff from there. Sesco.ca, I think, is their website. They serve the sign, awards market, trophies. They've got all kinds of laserable goods. And they're also a Rowmark distributor up here in Canada. And I needed to sit down with them because I wanted to try to see if there was something different I could use for this order for the States. And I'll do that video in the next couple of weeks to show you. But by buying the material for this order coming up, I stumbled on the answer that's been driving me crazy for months. Let's get into it. So the only Rowmark products I've been using are these Lamacoids, I think they're called. There's LaserMax, there's LaserMax Tri-Layer, which is this stuff here. It's good for inventory signs, different types of office signs, indoor or outdoor. They have a number of different products. But I found out they also have a big lineup of acrylic products. So I certainly won't take you through them all, but I promise you, if you talk to Sesco or whoever your local Rowmark dealer is, they have a ton of different types of acrylic products, really cool ones. And I decided to try a couple of new ones out. And the one is called Reverse Laser Mark. Comes in 1/16 and 1/8 inch size or thickness. And the other one is called ColorCast Acrylic. Both very cool, lots of different colors, but here's the beauty of it. It's a clear acrylic. But are you sure it's clear? Well, it looks clear. Maybe it's not clear. It's clear acrylic, but it has a special coating on one side, a colored coating. You're going to engrave the back just like you would with a mirrored acrylic. You always engrave the back, and you've got to flip your design so that the front of your acrylic, of course, is clear, allows in various different environments for you to have either a paint fill or any type of engraving in the color, but the front is flat and of course sanitary if people need to clean the signs. So I'm going to do a quick example today just so you can see what the cool effect is that you get from using this type of material or incorporating it, whether it's into one of your creations, plaques, signs, logo signs, business signs, whatever it is that you're doing where you're using some types of acrylics and you want to create different types of effects that blend in together. Let's check it out. So just a quick demo. I've got a scrap piece. I think it's about 3.5 inches wide. So I just wanted to show you how letters turn out. So we'll grab our tool. I'm just going to write dog because I don't have a lot of room there. And I'm going to make this Arial. I'm going to go bold, make it a little bigger. And I know I have about 3.5 inches to play with. So let's go 3.5. So I've got my simple 3 letters here. I'm going to make that a cut layer, so I like red. I'm going to come down to my materials library. I use the same setting because I do any of my other acrylic, and it's 1/4 inch. So I'm going to grab my cut settings. I'm going to assign that. And as you can see, for those if you're interested, I'm using 3 millimeters per second, 90% power, high air. Interesting thing I'll tell you about in a minute. Line mode, 1 pass. I'm reverse engraving it just like a mirrored acrylic. I've got to flip my design, so I'm going to come up here and I'm going to see these 2 little triangles here, and I'm going to flip it. I think I'm in good shape. I have my user origin in the top left. That's kind of where I always prefer it. I'm in line mode. Everything looks good. I'm ready with the laser. Let's send it and let's cut it out. Just for note, I put some 3M, some 467 on the top, which is in theory the back of it. In other words, the side that's coated, not the clear side, because I'm going to stick it to something for you folks. Let's get her in the laser. Okay, we'll just do our regular autofocus, and we'll set our origin. Should be good. Let's frame it, and I think we're good. A little tip if you're working with acrylics, especially if you're new to acrylics, when you're cutting the acrylic, you can actually get a different finish on the cut side, or in essence, the side of the acrylic, depending on how much air you use. So of course, if you're cutting acrylic and you have no air, you're most likely going to get big flame ups or something similar. So if you want a more glossy, shiny finish to the side of the acrylic, you're still going to turn high air on in light burn for sure. But what you can do is come here to the bolt, undo your nut, and turn your air down to maybe halfway. You can play with your setting. You don't want to turn it all the way off. So put it to 1/4 or half, and then cut your acrylic. And you're going to find that the acrylic will come out with a much shinier, cleaner, more transparent side, as opposed to maybe more cloudy if you've got a high air. Let me show you the difference. I have air turned on my cut layer in light burn. On the bolt, I turn that nozzle all the way up to the highest air pressure, and you're usually going to get, and I'm going to try to hopefully let you see that, that's what it normally comes out with along the side. You get that nice clean cut, but it's got that almost cloudy look to it on the side. If you take the nozzle and you turn it down to about halfway, so you've got about half as much air pressure, this is the shiny finish you get on the side. You still get that nice clean cut, but it's much more glossy and shiny. Let me see if I can put them together for you, and hopefully you guys can see the difference if I've got the light correct there. But you definitely do, as Laser 911 guy said, you get a different finish along that cut line. The one thing I have noticed though is that when you turn the air down and you get that shinier glass finish along the edges, it's going to be gummy on your fingers when you pull it out of the laser. It's almost like it's softened it up a bit, and it takes a little while for it to harden back again. But you're going to see that when you run your finger on it, your finger almost sticks to it a bit. But it does definitely give you a nice glossy finish. Okay, so I've got a scrap piece of craft board, which I'm going to stick them to just for the demonstration. I'm going to clean my letters off, just to get that dust off. And we'll peel our 3M and stick it to our craft board, and take a look at the effect you get. So it's a dog. Looks like it's black, but it's actually clear. And that's the cool effect I've been trying to figure out for months. It's clear, but if you start to tilt it or turn it, you can see it's like you've got black on the bottom, clear, and then it comes out looking black on the top because the color comes right through the acrylic. So it looks like your letters or your design is black all the way through until you turn it. And now you get this great effect where it's black, clear right through, and then black again on the bottom as to whatever it is you've put it on or whatever sign material you're using. I think that is just an awesome effect with yet another type of acrylic I didn't even know existed. but now I can see the benefit of using it for actually more than it's truly designed to be used for. Look at that effect. So picture that on the back of a big acrylic sign you're making for your customer, or maybe you've got a geometric wood pattern in the back and you're blending it with acrylics, and you're able to now get this really wicked effect in, I think there's 15 or 17 different colors that you can use, or 10 different colors, but that's your black. So that's a wrap for today's video. I hope it was helpful, especially if you're new to acrylics or you're starting to try to find new or different types of acrylics. Thanks so much for sticking around. Have a great week. Have fun with your lasers. Please be kind to each other, and I'll see you again on the next one. I'm Gord Potter, and you've been watching LaserNug. Cheers.